Oh, what's up? You wanted to talk earlier? You just couldn't wait to chat today, huh?
That's exactly what it was.
I thought so.
What actually happened is I want to have a nap before I go and train.
Ah,
And you were like, 4 o'clock was right in the middle of my nap time.
oh, I got you. I would hate to interrupt that. Very important.
I mean, I thought about just canceling, and then I was like, nah, it's Drake, so let's do it.
I mean, hey, I never would have known. So-
I did tell Ariel the other day that you, him, and James Lynch were the three.
I know. I saw that, and I
I mean, I
appreciate
know,
it.
I know, I know they're both Canadian, but I said US based.
There we go.
The
Yes.
three, the three non-Australian media outlets that I'll always do.
Yeah, North American. But people often think I'm Canadian, so whatever.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. I don't know why. I think
Is it
because
because you're nice?
I mean, hey, maybe or the rapper is Canadian, and that's a stupid joke, but
That could be it too. They're like,
yeah,
because you guys look so similar.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, I mean, it's exciting, Jesse, to see. Does it feel good getting the activity flow going again? Obviously, it's
Yeah.
not a long wait no more.
No, it's nice. It's nice. It was nice until 2 weeks ago. I was like, why am I so tired? And then I realized I've had back-to-back camps with a surgery in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, fought Sarah, had surgery at 9 months on the dot, booked another fight, went to camp for Jocelyn, fought her in October, then fought in February, and now fighting in July. So I feel like it has been just four back-to-back camps with a 9 month surgical recovery in
Yeah.
the middle. And I'm like, oh, that's why I'm tired. Like, I said I wanted to fight more consistently, and I am, so I'm not complaining at all. But it took me a little to realize that that was why I'm like, God, like I gotta go to training
Right.
again. Like I feel like I've done nothing but train, but it has because even after the Stephanie fight, like I think I got on the road for 3 weeks,
Right.
and then but it was like doing appearances and stuff for my sponsors and stuff like that. I didn't actually get a chance to like just stop and have a break. And then the day I got back from my road trip, I booked this fight. So it's just been nonstop. And I'm very excited. I'm really excited for this fight. And I'm excited to like actually take a week or two to road trip without obligations, to
Right.
just like pick
Decompress a
up the
little.
dogs. Yeah, pick up the dogs and just dip for a minute.
So what were all the places you were going? I remember seeing some of them. What, New York
Oh, and
maybe?
that one after Stephanie. So
Yeah.
I was in so I was in Montana. I was in Montana for 3 days. So I drove to Montana from NorCal, was there for 3 days, drove back. Then I went, and then I think 2 days later I left again, and I went San Diego, Las Vegas, went Vegas to North Carolina, North Carolina to Jacksonville, Florida, Jacksonville to Brooklyn, Brooklyn to Philadelphia, Philadelphia back to North Carolina, North Carolina to Alamogordo, New Mexico, New Mexico to Vegas, Vegas to San Diego to home.
Wow.
And then literally like I hadn't even been home yet. I just hit the Bay Area and was like 10 minutes away from 'cause I live pretty close to the gym. So I was like 10 minutes away from either home or the gym, but I got to take a different direction to get to which one. And then I got the phone call about July
Oh
2nd.
wow.
And I was like, fuck, all right, not going home. Let's go to the gym. And I went straight to the gym and watched some footage with coach. And yeah, I hadn't even stepped foot in my home yet before I booked this fight and then went straight back into camp.
Wow, that's pretty wild. That's an intense kind of nonstop travel deal right there. And you said what? Did you say Vegas to North Carolina? You didn't go straight there, right?
Yeah, I drove straight there.
Wow. So sleep in the car then, or like what'd you do?
Hell yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was assuming so.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I did. I was going to say on the way from NorCal to Montana, because it's 18 hours, I like last minute got a hotel in where the fuck does Kiesa live? In Spokane. So I got a hotel in Spokane and then went from Spokane to Montana. But then the way back I just drove the 18 hours straight through. But yeah, the East Coast trip I stop at gas stations and rest stops and stuff like that. Very rarely through the night. I'll always stop and kind of sleep during the day so that I can drive all the way through the night, because I listen to way too many serial killer podcasts to
scares the shit out of you.
stop at a truck stop at night. Hell no. Even when I was driving back from Montana, I had to stop to get fuel, and it was like 3 a.m. and I literally was in the middle of like rural Northern California, and so I called someone and was like, "Hey, just be on the phone with me while I stop to get fuel." And then then like that, funnily enough, my the person I called was like, "Man, you listen to way too many serial killer podcasts." I'm like, "Dude, I'm a single female who's always by herself. And not only that, I don't have my dogs with me right now. So I don't even have like my actual usual line of defense, you know? Like I'm legitimately by myself. So like if I got fucking murdered in the middle of rural Northern California, you'd be like, "Oh, she wasn't playing safe. She wasn't safe enough. Like, why didn't she call someone if she had to start?" Like, fuck off, man.
But you know what?
Anyway, I didn't get stabbed. So
yeah, we can tell.
Yeah.
But the counter to that is going to be Jessy. But she's a professional fighter.
Exactly. You know, she could probably beat up everyone. Well,
yes. Not if you have a weapon, maybe.
Maybe if you're like another 150-pound female with no weapon, then fuck yeah, I'll take my chances against any woman, you know? But physiologically, I was trying to explain this to someone just earlier today. I was like, I could weigh 145 pounds, be a professional fighter, and if a 145-pound man wants to grab me violently, I'm still at a physiological disadvantage, regardless of my skill set, right. You know? So the people who are like, "Oh, you could take on any dude," like, yeah, I'm way more capable than the average female, you know?
And if you're caught off guard too, you know?
So that's exactly right. And like the people that are trying to attack people or grab people in those situations aren't usually walking up to you while you're staring straight at them, you know what I mean? Like,
hey, so I'm about to try and stab you, just so you know.
Yeah, better put your hands up. But I always have a knife on me. Anyway. Even driving out to Vegas yesterday, and I had to, because I was water loading, so I had to stop a bunch. And I stopped at a bunch of rest stops, and I still, even in the middle of the daylight, I still have a knife on me, just in case. And some of my friends, you know, one of my friends is a firefighter, and he's like, "Oh, you always ready to throw down?" I'm like, "They're always ready to throw down until the day I don't have it on me and someone actually tries to start something, and you're like, fuck, like, why didn't she have her knife on her?" You know?
That's always when it happens.
Yeah, just can't fucking win either way. Like, you're either too cautious or not cautious enough. Well, I listen to enough serial killer podcasts to like never be too cautious, and I can't have, you know, all I can have is baseball bats and knives, you know. Yes. So I make do with what I can have.
Well, it's a zombie apocalypse prep as well, so it all ties together.
There's a go bag in my truck at all times.
Got to stay ready so that you don't have to get ready.
Exactly.
But you said the dogs aren't with you. Why are they not with you this time?
No, dude. So they usually stay with Serena Southpaw, but her and her mum are out in wherever PFL is, cornering Orlando.
Oh, Atlanta, yeah.
So they couldn't have the pups this week, and you know what? Like, totally understand. Whatever. I'm not upset about that.
God damn
I'm definitely upset about. Yeah, like, God damn it, you guys. No, I am definitely like feeling some sort of way about not having them, because I do rely on them so much. Like, it's weird. I rely on my dogs so much. You know, because they're the one consistent thing in my life that no matter what I do, no matter how my career goes, no matter how much money I make, like, no matter what my reputation is, they love me. They love me unconditionally. And there's been something really powerful for me personally about being able to go and see them through the week, through fight week, you know? So I definitely am feeling that. Like, it's not going to affect anything. Like, fuck, I saw them all last fight week and I lost, you know? So it's, at the end of the day, it doesn't really affect how I fight. It's just, I miss them. I really do miss them. And I've had so many just really like beautiful, peaceful moments with my dogs recently, that I think I've like even developed a higher level of appreciation for them, which anyone who's not a dog lover isn't going to understand. Like, right. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, they're essentially your babies, and especially when you don't want kids as well, right? So it's like
totally. Like, I've had one since she was 12 weeks old. I've had one since she was 8. Like, like just because they're not human beings doesn't mean that I haven't raised them the same way, you know?
Yeah.
Only benefit is that when mine are naughty, I can lock them in a cage, you know? But
I mean, you could do that with humans, but
people do, but I'm pretty sure it's frowned upon.
in most cultures, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that is sad, but it'll just feel that much better when you see him again, though. So think of it that
Oh,
way.
I'm so excited. You know what? I was like, okay, I have a bunch of friends competing in that grappling thing on July 3rd. Like Andre Feely's competing. I think Uriah's doing something. And Andre's like made the effort to come to my last couple of fights. So I really want to go to support him, you know, but I'm like, what time are you competing? Because the second you're done, I'm out. I'm going home. Like yeah, if I had to have my dogs here, I probably would have stayed a few more days. Like I wanted to get tattooed next week, but then when I realized I couldn't bring them, I was like, no, I've got to go home. I got to go home.
Yeah. And I know you're used to like going around to a lot of places, obviously, but between like kind of your regular routines of, you know, the gyms and the therapies and, you know, whatever it may be, like, does it ever feel like too much for you? Or is it like you got it pretty dialed in now? You're like, it's just how it is.
You know, it never feels like it's too much until my body starts to break down. Like I had to make some adjustments this camp. Obviously, like I lost with a submission last fight. And so then even before we booked this fight, Coach and I were looking for more female grapplers to train with who were better than me, either the same level or better than me. And a jiu-jitsu school that I could go to a little more regularly. Because it's the only hard thing about where I live. Like I would go to Half Moon Bay to train with Raul Castillo and Adam Piccolotti, but it's an hour each way, you know, and training wouldn't start till 7 o'clock at night. And I'm usually up at 5 every morning. So I'm not even walking in my door until 10, you know, let alone shower, eat, walk the dogs, all that sort of stuff. So it's just not viable as like a consistent regular thing. So we went and found Cesar Gracie's, which is only like a 20-minute drive for me. Started training with Sean Nick Marod, who's cornering me for this fight, and his fiance is a purple belt. There's a couple of other good females there. So I added in 4 more jiu-jitsu sessions a week, you know, obviously definitely once like we booked this fight for Julia, you know, with Julia, because she has a lot of wins via armbar as well. She's a jiu-jitsu black belt, like she's a legitimate grappler. So obviously we prioritized that. And then I started doing privates with Dana Castillo at Team Alpha Male as well, which has been amazing. On top of everything I was already doing. So I, you know, there definitely was a stage where I was like, man, like I feel like I'm doing too much. And then I realized like I was still staying up till 11 o'clock at night on the phone sometimes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like on my nights off, I was still staying up as late as what I would have been if I was training, you know? So then I started making a few adjustments in that respect. Like my nights off, I've been such a grandma. Like my nights off, I've been in bed at 6:30 and asleep by 7:30.
Wow.
You know, and that was a fucking game changer for me. Like once I started doing that, it was like a fuck. Like it took about 2 days, and then I was like, man, like I feel really good. Like I went from feeling kind of burnt out, especially back-to-back camps. Mm-hmm. Like I went from being like, man, like I just need a break, you know, like fuck, why'd I take a fight so soon? Like I just need to chill for a minute. And then I started going to bed at 6:30 at night, and it was just all of a sudden I felt like I was, you know, 5 years younger again. So it was cool.
That's crazy. You know, I guess we really do underestimate the power of sleep sometimes, huh?
Wow. Funny. I mean, for the last 4 camps, my nutritionist, Tyler Minton, has been like, we just had this conversation today because I'm like a little lighter at this time of fight week than I usually am, like a few pounds ahead of schedule, you know? And my camp weight was the same the whole way. And he's like, oh, I think you're not holding, I think you've like let go of a bit of information, like crazy what sleeping well can do. Then I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, I've just really been prioritizing it. And he's like, you know, I asked you this time, like last camp, how your sleep was, and you yelled at me and were like, stop fucking asking me about my sleep. I don't know why you always ask me. Like, you know, it sucks, you know? I was like, oh, my bad. But he's been telling me for 4 camps now, like, I need to prioritize sleep a little bit better. But it's so weird. Like, I stopped working in nightclubs, like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I still find myself in that same, like, schedule, you know, like, because I used to work all night and then have a day job as well. So I got so used to, for like 7 years of my life, I got so used to making it work, to even training and fighting through that, you know, having an hour sleep here and there, and I was good. And then now I'm like 35 this year. I'm like, this camp has been the first time I was like, oh fuck, like I am in my mid-30s. Like, yeah, maybe I do need to sleep. Maybe I shouldn't be on fucking Instagram at midnight. Like,
Yeah. Maybe napping throughout the day would be a good idea.
Always nap. Always nap.
That's been a consistency.
Through fucking for years, I always nap through the day like that. I'd be a wreck. Our schedule, even without going to Alpha Male and Caesar Gracie's and Half Moon Bay and Capital Strength, my strength and conditioning spot, even without going to all those places, our schedule at CSA is fucking wild. You know, when I first moved, the very first time I did a full week at CSA when I was still living in Vegas, I went home and I think I slept for 2 days because I was just, it's just so full on, you know. It definitely takes, like, you definitely have to adapt to it. But it's because Coach Kieran expects a lot from us, you know, and he wants, if he's going to commit to us, we need to commit to him, and he has specific things that we need to hit, you know. And even now, like, I transitioned my training to being at a few other places, like the schedule is still the same, except now I have like 5 hours of travel every day as well.
Right.
But yeah, so I definitely, having an afternoon nap makes a massive difference. Like, it's impossible otherwise, because I have like a full day of training in the morning and then a full day of training in the night. And if I don't get I'm getting real good at having just 20-minute naps though, and like nap 20 minutes, get up, walk. Yeah, fuck, it's night and day difference. Even if I get a full hour, I usually wake up feeling pretty shitty. If I get that solid 20, I'm sweet.
The whole sweet spot, indeed. I know. I've been trying to work on that myself, but I'm glad you mentioned Coach Kieran. Yes, practice makes perfect. But it's funny. Someone was actually asking me this week, like, if I had seen the dynamic striking DVDs that you've done with Coach Kieran, and I haven't seen them, but I think I've seen some things about them. And so the person was asking me, "Oh, you should ask her next time. What was it like working with him doing those?" So. What was it like, Jessy? How was that whole process?
Honestly, like, I fucking love that he's doing this, that he's doing these, you know, because he has such an incredible knowledge base that really, like, unless you train at the gym or you come to the coaches clinics, like, you don't get to experience. And there's so many people, and this sounds like I'm grubbing for money or whatever, but there's so many people with like a smaller knowledge base who are making a fuckload of money off doing things like this. And it doesn't make sense to me that, like, my coach is supporting a family of 4 off what he makes from the gym, which is fucking nothing, you know. Like, there's multiple employees. We're in Northern California where it's very expensive. Like, he makes just enough to cover his expenses, you know. Like, he does this for love. He loves what he does. And so that never computed for me, you know, that he would give so much and he doesn't get back what he deserves, you know, especially not in a financial sense. So super happy that he's doing that. The other part of that is that I feel like more people need to get to experience what we experience with him, because you see him online, you see like little Instagram posts here and there, and he's pretty serious, like doing his thing. But Coach Kieran at heart is fucking hilarious. Like, fucking hilarious. You know, and that's the cool thing about the dynamic striking, is like his personality is really coming through with it. And I just think, like, he deserves for people to know who he really is, you know, because he's a fucking great man. So it's cool. I'm super thankful. Anytime he does something like that, I always volunteer my time as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, he's really kind of one of those more underappreciated coaches who stays out of the spotlight, you know. Like, there was a while where we talked about, like, the Eric Del Fioros and whatnot, who were such good coaches and everyone knew it, but they never made it about themselves. And I feel like he's one of those guys too, you know. So. Yeah,
definitely. He even, like, I just picked him up from the airport right now, and I had to do a phone interview while I was driving with him, and it was just me talking about how great he is. And afterwards, I think he was so uncomfortable because he like he knows on paper where he's at, you know what I mean? But he's like, he still, he gets uncomfortable when people try to point out the things that he's great at, you know? Because I think, you know, this is fighting is a fucking thankless sport, but coaching, even more so, you know? And coaching, you give and give and give so much of yourself to all these people, and they're all going to leave at some stage, you know, like either retire, go to another gym, whatever it is. So you're really like giving pieces of yourself to people who aren't even able to give back in the same way, you know? So it's a hard job to do. I fucking couldn't do it. Absolutely not. Like, I love to teach. I absolutely could not coach. Not to the level that he does, you know? So
most fighters need you to be as well as a coach.
Absolutely. And think about like I'm a pretty low maintenance fighter, honestly. Like I outsource a lot of what I need, you know. I have a very open line of communication with Kieran, but I really only go to stuff when I need when I want to know his opinion on things, or like I need his advice, you know. There's a lot of stuff that I just talk to my therapist about. But for some other fighters, not necessarily ones that are on the team right now, but ones that have been on the team in the past, and I know ones that will be on the team in the future, he's everything. He's like, plays a father figure, he's coach, you know, he's a mediator, like he's the therapist, he's all these different things, and that's a fucking massive role to take on, especially when at the end of the day each one of those people is going to leave, and not necessarily always in the right way either, you know. There's a lot of heartbreak that comes with his job, and he still puts his energy and his time and his heart into it every single day. And yeah, I can that's why I talk him up so much, is because like he never asked for any money either, you know. Like, I've had coaches be super invested before, but it always came down to how much you were paying him at the end of the day. Like, I have to fucking sneak money into the gym in order to even be able to get him anything. Like I have to, like, he's still trying to fucking pay me for his hotel room. Oh, wow. And I'm like, bitch, you like you won't, you know, you won't fucking let me pay for anything. You don't let me pay for your food in fight week. You won't let me pay for your flights. Like, I've already paid for that. I'm not taking your money for it, you know? Fuck, it drives me crazy. And it's like a common theme. It's a common theme with our fight weeks. Like I haven't got Amber cornering me this time, which bums me out in a lot of ways, because I do rely on her a lot, you know. But last fight week, she came out before he did. And I was like, and I was complaining to him, like, fuck, man. Oh, no, she came out the day after he did. And I was like, fuck, man, like, coach won't let me do anything. And she's like, dude, it's your fight week. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, but he won't let me do anything. Like, he won't even let me DoorDash him food. The one time he did let me DoorDash him food, they fucked it up. So I'm like, I never get to DoorDash him food again. Fucking drives me nuts. But that's also why, like, if he's doing something, if he needs something done at the gym, like if we're renovating, if it has to be clean, like if we got a party to set up, if there's people coming through, if he's filming, like, I'll always be one of the first to say, yeah, like I'm there. And it's because of that.
Yeah. Serious dedication involved, and very humble guy. So always great to see. And
he is until you get to know him. Then he'll tell you how great he is.
Of course. But you mentioned Amber, and what? It's because she's getting ready for her fight coming up, right? So I know that you mentioned your grandma's birthday on Ariel's, so you're going to be doing that. But is that
my Nana G, my great Nana?
Oh, okay.
So my mom's dad's mom. Yeah.
A little complex.
Yeah. But everyone had kids really young in my family.
Yeah. So is that going to conflict? Are you going to be in her corner for her fight, though?
I don't know if I'm cornering, but I'm 100% there. So my original plan, because also I really want to get back for Nana's birthday, but it's also going to depend on when I can get a visa appointment. Because if I can't get a visa appointment, then it's $2,000 each way.
Wow.
At minimum to get to Australia right now. And on top of that, it's $100 a day to get my dogs watched. Like, there's plus accommodation, plus food, plus still paying storage fees for my camper. And, you know, like it's a lot of money to go back, plus like $4 or $5 grand for the visa, you know? So, so that kind of getting a visa appointment is kind of going to determine when I actually go back home. So ideally it would be in time for my Nana's party. But I've also already told my mum that there's a chance I may not be able to get back for it. But either way, my plan was to be in Denver for her fight on the 20th and fly on the 21st. If I'm getting home, because that would have got me home on the 23rd, which is my Nana's birthday fight. Okay. So that was kind of like,
That's
it would have been like,
perfect
oh,
case.
yeah, okay, you fought? All right, I'm out. Like, I got to go back to Australia.
Yeah, congrats. See ya.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen yet. If I don't end up going back to Australia at the end of July, I'm probably going to drive out, take the dogs with me, and then me and the pups will continue on somewhere after her fight.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to be there either way. I don't know if I'm cornering because I know Victor's been funny about how many corners, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to be there regardless.
Yeah. I mean, hey, just if you can get those bonus hunting this week, right? Fuck,
nice. It's a hard card to try to get a bonus on, bro. Like,
but I mean, hey, I'm sure. Did you see Julia's fight with Versos? I mean, well, that fight was insane. You know, she can bring it.
Yeah, I mean, she was the Invicta champ for a reason, right?
Yeah, and I mean, hey, some good elbow exchanges. I'm sure you're always looking forward to get the elbows dirty.
I mean, I don't want to get elbowed, but I'll happily throw my own.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever been elbowed before, Drake, but it fucking sucks.
Well, yeah, wasn't expecting it to be pleasant, but if you can dish him out, of course.
Yeah.
And it's funny, somebody was also asking me, what would you say Jessy's favorite strike is? I'm like, I know she loves the elbows, but she doesn't get to do them as much as she wants. So, I mean, would you say they're your favorite strike, or like, what's something you really like to throw, I guess?
They're pretty up there. Honestly, like, and again, this is me fucking talking shit about Coach K. But there's like specific things that he has taught me that I'm trying to hit, you know, and I'm not necessarily going to tell you what the fuck they are.
Of course.
Elbows is one of my favorites for sure. Elbows fuck, what fight was it? When I fought Panny, right? When I fought Panny, I hit one right elbow and I hit a spinning elbow, right? But they did nothing. They did nothing. I was so fucked. I had food poisoning that whole week. So I think I had no like pop in anything, right? So they did nothing. And then afterwards I was like, well, when I got ready for the Sarah fight, I was like, fuck, coach, like I want to hit good elbows. And I can't remember how many I said I was going to hit. It was like 5 or something, 3 or something, you know? And then so I hit that in the Sarah fight, and I feel like I'm just trying to build on that. I made a joke at him the other day. I'm like, I think I'm the only person in the UFC who's thrown a spinning kick and a fucking spin elbow and done fuck all with either of them. You know? I threw a spin kick at Paige and like lightly grazed her face with my toes.
Yeah.
You know, and then I spinning elbowed Patty and it did nothing. I don't even think. Nothing. I might be the most ineffective striker in the UFC.
At least when it comes to the spinning or the should be lethal strikes.
Yeah, versatile.
Yeah.
Versatile, but ineffective. Yeah.
I got tools in the toolbox, but gotta sharpen them, I guess.
Totally.
All right. Well,
I mean, maybe not anymore. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Panny was 2019 and fucking Paige was 2018. So we'll see.
Yes. But I don't want to bleed too much into the nap time, Jessy. So maybe some rapid fire here. But I was curious, favorite Aussie slang that you use to confuse non-Aussies? Because I'm sure there's plenty.
I feel like the majority of what I say confuses people, but probably not here to fuck spiders. I feel like a good one.
What?
Have you heard that one before?
No.
Not here to fuck spiders.
Okay.
It means like if someone says, "Oh, are you here to fix the light bulb?" You go, "Well, I'm not here to fuck spiders." You know. That's a good one. I think every time I talk about filling up at the servo, it confuses people. Kind of what I said the other day. There's been a lot of conversations lately that have been real fucking Aussie, because we've had a lot of Brits at the gym, and British and Australia have a lot of very similar slang. Even like Mason Jones, who's Welsh, you know, and Corey McKenna, who's Welsh as well. Like the three of us, when we start talking, no one can understand what the fuck we say.
Just accents all over the place.
Yeah. And then we had Dakota. I don't know how to say her last name, but she's a really great striker. Yeah, that's her. She's Brit too, and same thing. All 4 of us were around and we were all talking, and all the Americans were like, "The fuck is going on?" But not here to fuck spiders, I think, is a good one, because that makes zero sense to anyone that I ever say it to.
I mean, I think it makes sense, but it's like a random, you know, douchey kind of response.
It makes sense when you understand the context.
Right.
Like you have to understand the context for it to make sense.
Yeah, so I like that though. I haven't heard that, so that's a good one. But and we kind of talked about.
It's because have you ever talked to Jimmy Crew? Because Jimmy Crew says it a decent amount as
No,
well.
I haven't heard him say that.
Are you sure? Yeah, you should ask him about it.
All right.
Jimmy's a
Well.
fucking fool.
And we talked a little bit about scary things in the beginning, obviously with your crime stories. But I was kind of thinking about it though after you talked about bringing out your fears a little bit with Ariel and like
Yeah.
overall in life, Jesse. Like, what would you say your biggest overall fear is? This could be a little deep here.
I don't ever want there to be a day where my mum shakes her head at me in disappointment. I think that's it. I don't ever want there to be a day where my mum feels shame at me being her kid. I think that's my biggest fear. And I know it's so unfounded because I know that it's not in my nature to ever do any of the things that could make her feel that way about me. But that's definitely like a pretty big one. You know,
that makes sense because that would be why, right? It's like it shouldn't happen,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, fuck, imagine if it did, you know? God damn. Yeah, no, that's a pretty big one. I'm also don't ever want to skydive. That too.
A what?
I don't ever want to skydive.
Oh, okay.
The thought of jumping out of a plane like fucking makes me want to throw up.
Yeah, that's one I'm not too fond of either. So
no, I'm good. Unless I was getting paid to do it, like I'm out. I'm good.
Well, how much would you need then?
Fuck, it'd have to be a lot, mate. It'd have to be a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. But all right, well, we got to wrap up then on. I don't know. I don't have any good ways to tie her in because I always like to. But the Kanako update. Have you seen her recently? She's been in New York. I know she's been in New York.
No, haven't seen her. Haven't spoken to her since the one time I thought I saw her walking on the side of the road outside the PI last camp. Nothing.
Jeez.
Nothing.
Wow. Hey, that'd be really cool if you guys could get booked on the same card, though. That'd be fun, right?
That would be. Yeah, that'd be fun. I miss Kanako. She was fun. She was fun to have at the gym.
Yeah. So, still waiting on her next fight, but yep, always a good time with her. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, 5 minutes over. Hope that's all right. But always,
it's fine.
Always good catching up, girl.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Looking forward to this one. As always, wish you the best of luck, of course, and just a couple of days. So go do your thing, and then we'll catch up again whenever that time comes. So have fun.
For sure. Have a good day.